Good morning. Hey BL. Hey Val. Just want to check that you guys can hear me okay. I did some little change in the on the microphone. So do let me know if you can hear me all right. I'm always having a stuffy nose. That day wasn't a stuffy nose. That day was just something like tickling the nose. Right now it's a little bit stuffy. Hey Spiros, how you doing? Good. Loud and clear. Hopefully no distortions. Um, Not a sunny day here in London. Getting ready for the weekend. Hey, I actually love the grayness. Maybe because I'm only there for a short period of time when I'm there for work on holidays. I actually like the grayness the of London. Hey, Ayakame, trusting cloud. Good to know that you can hear me. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Hey, Lee Frank. How is everyone? Okay, good. Hey, in the meantime, while you're waiting, YouTube is doing very well with the thumbs up. If you're on TradingView, if you're watching on TradingView, do click that little rocket ship button. Hopefully, we get a few new viewers who might catch this live stream. And for those of you who are new to the stream and new to the Discord channel, a big welcome. It amazes me. I'm super grateful for everyone who's joining the Discord channel. Good to see everyone there. And especially if you are joining the Discord channel, do start the chat. Do share your trade ideas, share a setup, ask questions. We're all there to help each other out. Link in there, you guys. Good morning, Angel Case. Good to see you. One more minute and we shall get started. I've been busy, a little bit busy today, this morning or this morning afternoon, scalping the Aussie to the downside. I was sharing quite a number of trade ideas. I was scalping the Aussie, I was scalping the yen down as well. Just those two pairs keeping me busy so far. Anyone have any trades that you got into or got out of? Aussie yen is great. I should add that to my list as well. I got too many yen pairs. I've got pound yen, I've got US yen, I've got euro yen. So if I keep adding more yen, I would guess that Aussie yen is great considering Aussie was dropping, yen was dropping. So Aussie yen would have dropped massively. Is there any reason for the Aussie weakness? I'll tell you. I came into the office, I saw that big drop. I went on Forex Factory, I searched around, I looked at all the news. There isn't. Not that I found. No reason that I found for the Aussie weakness, but it's possibly a technical play to the downside, more so on the Aussie, but you can see across the board, most currency pairs are dropping or were dropping. Scalp the. Hey, it looks like we're all doing the same. We're all doing similar things. Scalp Angel K scalp the Kiwi dollar and the pound yen down. Very good. I was sharing about pound yen as well. US Swiss franc up 20 pips right now. Very nice. Trusting Cloud. I think you shared that trade idea as well. Very nice. Spiros on the Kiwi short, pound yen sell. Fantastic. I hope you all got in either before or got inspired by the pound yen post that I did on in the Discord channel. Hey Nick, how you doing? All right, now that Nick is on, we can get started. So again, welcome you all to, wait, it's not fundamental analysis. Okay, it's the wrong slide. It's not fundamental analysis. Let me see if I do have the disclaimer here. Okay, it's the daily market analysis. This is not the fundamental analysis, but what we do during this session, we do have a watch list. We do look at the fundamentals. we do look at the technical setups, and then after that, possible trade setups, generating a watch list for you guys. Basically, it's my own watch list, but I'm just sharing with you my thought process as I look through mostly the major currency pairs. And if you have any questions, do put it into the chat. Let me know any particular pairs you'd like me to look at. But what we do during this session, again, not the fundamentals analysis, but the daily currency analysis, is where I share with you my thought process as I look into every major currency pair, identifying news events, identifying possible levels that we could see price react to, looking for trade setups. With that, then I ideally, hopefully, try my best to prioritize which trade is going to happen faster or sooner, counter trend trade or trend following trade for, together with you guys. So if you do jump into any trades, please remember the usual disclaimer applies. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. So please do your own due diligence and remember that your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. All right, I did this every day. I do this every day. So just remember that if you do jump into any trades, please make sure that it fits with your own trading method, your own trading strategy as well. Sometimes if I'm looking at a counter trend trade, if you're not comfortable with counter trend, then maybe something that you might want to overlook or just observe without entering a trade. A lot of times I do, when I'm scalping, right, I'll scalp it to a particular level before I look for a swing trade. So there'll be some mix of methods. I do mostly trend following trades, intraday scalping. I don't do big swing trades. I just don't have the patience for that. So it's really what timing you have, how much time you have to spend in front of the screen, what kind of method you're looking to jump onto in terms of strategy or approach. Do consider all that before you jump into any trades. Okay. Then, again, if you're new to the session, drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. If you have any questions at any point in time, do let me know. Put it into the chat, let me know, and then I'll hopefully be able to help you with your trading journey as well. Okay, and the link, again, is on YouTube and also at the bottom of every post there on Discord. So please join the Discord channel. Absolutely free to join. It's a growing community, sharing great ideas, sharing trade analysis, providing the support. Whether you're making money, we'll be there to cheer you on. If you're losing money or losing trades, we'll be there to support you, helping you hopefully break out of a rut or, tweak an approach or mindset just so that we can hopefully, tune you towards better trades and better profitability. With that said, let's keep going. Take that away. Oops. Okay, that's a Discord channel. Let me close that before it gets laggy. Okay. So 3:15, in about 6 minutes time, we do have a series of PMI numbers to be released for the Eurozone. And this is a new feature. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but this is a new feature here on Forex Factory. I'm not paid by Forex Factory to tell you about this, but I found it quite interesting. They used to have a little green circle that you click to refresh. Now there's a countdown timer, right? There's a countdown timer. Hopefully, it gives us the data a little bit faster because Forex Factory does have that tendency to be a little bit slow sometimes. But this caught me by surprise this morning. We're happy to see that. But let's look into what happened last night. In terms of data, we anticipated or we were planning this already. There wasn't any big news events that we were expecting. So we actually saw choppy price action across the board. I'll show you here the dollar index last night. So this was Thursday. We spoke at about 3 o'clock right there. Since then, it was just spiking up, spiking down, pretty much what we were expecting, right? Broke down a little bit more than expected, but pretty much, in that zigzag formation. Now, I'm anticipating that possible upside on the dollar. Okay, I will just move this a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I'll change this. That's not support. I just realized this. That's a resistance level. Okay, so same thing. I did a post on this on the dollar index today as well. You'll notice that the dollar index has been trading in that bit of that triangle there, right? A bit of that triangle there, and then we've got this trading down, squeezing. So what I'm looking for here is a break, right? A break of the resistance at 102, a break of that downward, slightly downward trend line, and also I want to see a break of that previous high at 102.20. Okay, so very similar or continue that view from previous, from yesterday, where I'm still looking for the DXY to break upwards above 102.20, and then we could see it climb towards the next resistance at 102.60. In this case, what could push the dollar up, right? What could push the dollar index up? I don't think it's so much on a US news event, right? Because we only have the manufacturing PMI, the services PMI to be released. I think what could push the dollar index up will be, and if I show you here, that downtrend on the euro, that downtrend on the pound, bit of a consolidation there on the US yen, right? But it was trending down, looking like it's going to push up. The upward move on the US CAD, downward move on the Aussie and the Kiwi. So right across the board, what we're seeing here is that potential or that trending direction of the dollar strength, right? Especially as we come towards, today is Friday, so we come towards the end of the week. I would think or would like to see this break up. We might see this spike up, and then maybe into next week we might see it come back down again. Okay, but for now, I'm looking for this to break up, take that line away, above that 102.20 level. Okay, so strength on the dollar index, likely, but likely driven by in relation to the other pairs, in relation to the weakness on the other pairs, not so much the dollar strength. All right. So with the PMI numbers to be released in less than a minute now, French manufacturing, French services PMI, I don't think this is going to move prices too much. Not the French, right? And at 47.3, expected 47.9. Services at 53.9, expected 53.6. It might be a mixed data. It might be I think that would be about a 40, maybe even a 48 or 40, yeah, about 48. That one might be a 54, I think, right? Regardless of the data, I don't think it's going to move the euro too much. It's a big downward trend right now. So, even if, I'll wait for the 6 seconds, even if it does come out strong, okay, even if it does come out, what's the number? Pending. I'm just checking out this new feature. We'll check out this new feature together. It's still not coming out. Release already. Hey, M Leader, how you doing? Okay, 45.5. And on services, 56.3. Okay, so if you look at the euro dollar straight away right now, the news came out, and even on a 15-minute time frame, right, it's just pushed up. Still, not with this kind of data, you would expecting it to push up a little bit because of that good news, pushing up before trending back down again because of the overall trend. So it might come up, test that 109.54, 55 level, and then maybe turn back down again. So, I would follow the trend on in this scenario. Wouldn't be looking to buy it up. I'll be looking for a possible rejection to turn back down again. Okay. So back to the news again. We just had this manufacturing and services PMI for the French. The German ones to be released in the next 15 minutes. Might have a little bit more impact in terms of price, but again, 44.7, 45.6, 53.7, 53.3. Again, it's going to be a mix. I'm thinking it's going to be one green, one red again, which is possibly going to signal some upward move and then that retrace back down. So I'm not too fussed at this point in terms of the PMI numbers. And remember, it's quite fitting that I was just sharing by mistake, the fundamental cover page. When we spoke about fundamental analysis the last time round, or I was telling you about fundamental analysis the last time round, it's the theme, right? It's not just about what news to pay attention to, whether it's red, green, or red, yellow, or orange. It's the theme of whether to pay attention to the news or not. Right now, the focus is all on CPI, the focus is all on interest rates, not so much on the PMI. That's one reason why we're not seeing a big move on the PMI numbers. But look at the euro, right? It tested up and then looks like it's pushing back down again. So it's going to be a small fluctuation, but then we're still looking for trend to continue on. At the end of the hour or the start of the hour at 4 p.m., we do have the Eurozone manufacturing PMI and services PMI. Again, not a big change expected there. I do think that we might see both negative numbers here, right? We might see a disappointment here, which could spur further downside on the euro dollar. The UK with their PMI numbers 47.9, 48.3, 52.9 staying the same. Again, I think that it might push price up a little bit, but overall, I do think that it's a brief spike up before a continuation to the downside. CAD with their retail sales number looking like it might be flat or slightly negative. I do think that we might see some bad news on the CAD, a recovery on the US CAD to the upside. I'll show you more. I'll show you the chart shortly. And then the US manufacturing PMI, again, looking like it might be bad news. So, dollar index, I think that we might see it push up and then a brief retrace back down again to end of the week. Be very wary, right? I seem to say this every week. End of the week, we are going to see choppy price action. I do think that this week we might see a little bit less choppiness, right? So if I show you the chart here on last Friday, what's this last Friday? Wait. Okay, on last Friday, oops, put that back. Right, we saw through the week, we saw the dollar drop strongly, hit that 100.80 level, and then towards the end, towards the US session, we saw the dollar strengthen back up. Very choppy or very strong reversal here because we actually saw a big drop since Monday. It went from 102.80 down to 100.80. That's why we saw a big, strong retrace on Friday back towards that 101.70 level. What you notice here for this week is why it's been boring and slightly more boring and choppy is that the dollar has pretty much stayed at 101.60 as a support level, and then the strong resistance at 102.20. Very small range, in fact, a consolidative range, a narrowing range. I'm looking at choppy, but I don't anticipate a big surge to the upside or a big surge to the downside. So it might just come up and then sit around that 102.50, close to that resistance, but maybe just shy of that. Okay, so I'll actually update this and maybe to 102.50. All right. I might be entirely wrong, but that's the anticipation so far. Okay, good. So looking at the Kiwi dollar, that's happening right now. Okay, so we're talking about this for that downside. I remember sharing with you guys about the moving average on the H4 time frame. So that's the 50, and then that's the 200. I just want to do a quick update on what we're talking about from yesterday. You can see now that the 50, or rather 200, has broken through the 50 staying up there. That's why we're seeing that downward push on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, that downward push on the Kiwi dollar. So I do remember a couple of you, Angel Case, Spiros, did get into the Kiwi dollar short push as it's trading down. I know Angel Case scalped. I don't know how many of you were scalping or holding a longer term trade to the downside. I do think that there's further downside potential on the Kiwi dollar, especially as we anticipate that dollar strength to continue, right? So I'm looking at that, but let's take that away for now. If you didn't get into a trade, you can see that I'll take this away. The last on 16th of March, it pretty much bounced from this point. It came down to, let me just check. It came down to 6125 and bounced. So you might want to consider this point. Okay, so it's late. If you didn't get into a trade already, I would say it's too late to rush in now. What you could be looking at is, sitting out, waiting for it. You missed out this move. I do think that it's going to retrace a little bit before turning back down. It could retrace up to about that point, which looks like what it's been trying to do already. So I do think that it could retrace. Here's the thought, is that if it does retrace up, you could be looking to sell it down to this point. If not, then I'll be looking to sell down from this point. Okay, so two levels for potential entry. I would say that because I'm not sure how much you're bounced by, if you're looking to sell down from below 6125, stop loss would be about 30 pips. You would be able to keep take profit at 30 pips. You could keep your stop loss quite tight at about 15. Best would be 25 or 30, so you could do a 1:1. But with that momentum, you could be looking at 15 pip stop loss, about a 30 pip take profit, a 1:2 to the downside there on the Kiwi dollar H1. Right? Ultimately, it is a little bit late now to get in. Wait for it to either bounce before looking to sell down from 6145, or if it continues down, which it looks like it's doing now, to break below 6125 for that 15 to 30 pip. Okay, so we're still looking for this to sell down 6125. Very tight stop at 15. Take profit at about 30. Okay, good. Any questions, let me know. Next up, Aussie dollar. Okay, so same thing, Aussie dollar, we're looking at this yesterday. Didn't expect that big spike up. Okay, there was no clear, let me check the news as well. Snaps losing streak, Aussie dollar set to end the week, little change. Okay, so didn't expect this. So we're talking about this. We're looking for it to break out that triangle to the downside. It spiked up and then now traded down. Same thing like the Kiwi dollar. So I'll take this away. I do think that we might see, like I was sharing with you guys in the Discord channel, I do think that we'll see 6660, um, but it will have to, you know what? I think that if you didn't get into a trade already, I don't see this as a possible trade. It's too tight, it's 15 pips. So I wouldn't be looking to sell down right now. I would say that you could be looking for it to bounce. So I was highlighting this point to you guys, right? And I said once it breaks, we could see it trade down. Might see a retest for the Aussie. I might see a retest and then a trade back down again. Okay. Um, just because, at this level, we've seen it bounce down, break down, and then bounce back up to this point. Came back to this point and consolidated at this level. So I would like to see this happen on the Aussie for it to retest 6.7 or at least test the 6.700 level, reject, and then turn back down again. If it doesn't retrace high enough to sell down, then we might just see it drop, but I don't think it'd be a good trading scenario unless you're scalping, right? Unless you're on a 5 minute time frame, 15-minute time frame, like for example here, then you could be looking to scalp it down, but it might consolidate, push up a little bit before trading down. Okay, so on the dollar index, I am expecting downside, but look to sell on retracement. Fair enough. Maybe scalping. Let's go. There we go. Brain moving faster than the fingers can. Alrighty. Good. Let me just check. Okay, cool. Any questions, do drop into the message, into the chat, let me know. Dollar yen, we were looking at this for it to test that level. Okay, so I'll take this away, it didn't shoot straight up. Right, we were looking for this to come down, test this 133.80 level, and then bounce back up. Right now, look at that. So it's testing. Right, I'll just extend this right across. It has tested this level. It looks like it's bouncing back up. What I'm looking for here now is whether this could push up and close above, then you could be looking at a continuation. I would revise this just to be a little bit safer and think that 134, it's going there, right? Just to be a bit safer, I would say 13410. Take profit 85 pips, stop loss 40 pips, do a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside. Okay, so I think I was sharing this on Discord saying that, hey, we might see this break down, but looks like it's bouncing off. Dollars, anticipating this dollar strength to push up, that could push the US yen up. Okay, so 134.10. So it's retraced, it did retrace down, but we're looking to buy, not 135, 134.10, stop loss 40 pips, take profit 85 pips, and 85. There we go. Romeo, I will do US CAD. So I'll go through the list, right? I'll go through pound, euro, Swiss franc, then we get to the CAD, the loonie. So hang on there. Okay, so this looks like a good one. I think that we might be revising or revisiting this towards the end of the hour. So just remind me on that. Next up, the pound dollar. So you see, the thing that we did yesterday, we looked at all the pairs. We're pretty much in line with where price is heading. It was just a little bit early. So yesterday we said that it needs to break 1.24 before that downside potential. Looks like it's happening now. So I'll shift this right across. This might be a quick, short and sharp session today because I'm just shifting lines right across, looking for it to break. Right, it's broken 1.24. The more aggressive ones in you could have entered a trade already. The more risk adverse ones would wait for this candle to close in the next 30 minutes. Ideally, it will close below 1.2395. 15 could even do a 20 pip stop loss, a 40 pip take profit, a 1 to 2 to the downside. Okay, so pound dollar, the view would still stay at that. All right, makes sense so far. Okay, then we look at the euro dollar, right? And the euro dollar, it hasn't even done as much as I expected. So we're looking at this, we thought it would break that level, but as you all see that, let's check the news again. Again, a mixed bag, right? We were talking about this before the release. We were looking at a red and a green number. It did come out as that. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? I'm doing well. 44. So it's showing a slowdown, a further slowdown, a contraction in manufacturing PMI for the Germans, and services PMI climbing to that 55.7 from 53.7. It's a revision from 53.9 as well, if I'm not wrong. Yep. So at this point, at 4 o'clock in less than 30 minutes, I think what we could see here is a manufacturing PMI number of um, maybe 46. We might see 46 here, so a red number. And then this one, based on the French and the German, we might see 56. We might see 56 here. Okay, so again, a red and a green number. On the euro dollar, it's retracing. We're looking for it to, if you're doing a short term trade, either retrace to 109.55 or 109.70, and then possibly going to come back down again. So trading within that range. Hi Jamila, how are you doing? Okay, so euro dollar, same view as yesterday. I think it's going to trade within this range. I would love to see it break out, but doesn't seem like there's going to be that one event or that one stimulus news that's going to push it. If you're doing the short term kind of trade, then you could be looking to sell down below 109.70. The take profit would be about 30 pips. Stop loss. No, I tell you what, don't do that one. Okay, if it stays within this range, don't do anything. But if it breaks out of this level, then you could be looking to sell it down from here. So about 109 below 109.80. What am I doing? Hang on. Below 109.80. Stop loss very tight just because it's in the range. So I just don't know whether it's going to break out or not. So stop loss maybe even 10 to 15 pips. Take profit 40 pips to the downside, just because it's been in that range. Right? Jamil says strong sell. Right? Yeah. So I'm either, if it stays within this range, then I'm not going to do anything. But if it breaks out and fails to break higher, we've seen it reject this level 18th of April, 19th of April, 20th of April. Could it happen again on the 21st of April? Right? Just drag it right now. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking for. If it stays within the range, I'll do nothing. So below 109.80, 10 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit. This is a very unusual one. You probably noticed that this is a very unusual one for me because I don't usually have a 10 pip stop loss. So I would sell below 101.0980, 0980, stop loss 10, take profit 40. Okay, that would be a interesting one. Momentum increased, strong sell. Can I do that? Yeah, okay. Um, it's I wouldn't say momentum increased. It's still within that range. And if I zoom out there, you can see that it's actually squeezing right across. So just looking to trade that range if you really wanted to. Take that one out as well for now. Okay. Then the US Swiss franc, I know that Trusting Cloud did that, trading it up. I think we could see this go up further. Okay, we could see this go up further with the near-term resistance there. So that was the previous swing level here, bounce back up. It tested this level and trade down. Now approaching that resistance, I would only be looking to buy this up if it closes, especially if it closes above, or only if it closes above 8960, 30 pip stop loss, a tight 15 to 20 pip stop loss, a 30 pip take profit, a tight 15 to 20 pip stop loss there. I'm getting all jumbled up with my stop loss and take profits. But yeah, I do think that we could see this trade up with this as well. The 50% level is right there, so we're looking at that. So look for it to break above 50. Okay, you got 15 pip stop loss, a 30 pip take profit. Needs to break above that 50% level. Possible for sell side. Given the way that the dollar looks like it could move, right? If we see the dollar test this level and turn down, so if we see it do this or this, then maybe the sell side. But because I'm anticipating that push to the upside, I would say that most likely it's going to push up. Depends on what happens at resistance between this 8954 and 8960 level, but it seems like it's higher likelihood for that upside potential. Okay, so watch out for that. Jamila, I'll get to gold. I saw something interesting on gold, so I'll get to that shortly. Then on the US CAD, anyone got into this that we were identifying? I do think that this is going to trade up to that 1.3555 level. It's moving up as we had expected a little bit later. So I said it's odd that yesterday we were quite ahead of the plan movements. So it's moved up a little bit later than expected. I do anticipate, same like the US Swiss franc, the dollar strengthening, could see this push up towards 1.3555. I think that it would take a lot for this to push beyond that resistance. Okay, it would take a lot to push beyond that resistance, which take that away for now. We've got that resistance level, the next resistance level there. I would move this a little bit lower and say at this point there, that previous swing levels here. You could be, because we do have, CAD retail sales number looking like it's going to go from a 0.9 to 0. Retail sales from 1.4 to minus 0.6. That weakness, that potential weakness in the CAD retail sales and core retail sales could see this push up. So if you missed out on this first move, then I would say that we could be looking at a 60 pip take profit, a 20 pip stop loss if it trades above 1.3560. Okay, so I would say US CAD by 1.3560. Stop loss about 20, take profit about 60, so it's there. Okay, I'll update the US Swiss franc one as well. So we're looking for it to break that resistance of 8955. So about 8960, above 8960, 15 pip to 30 pip. Above, buy above 0.8960, stop loss 15, take profit 30. Okay, so one reason, learning from the sessions that we were doing over the last couple of Fridays. On Fridays I tend previously was highlighting big moves, and then we get caught out by the retracements or correction back up. Right now, it seems like we're highlighting more shorter term trades on Friday, especially because it's coming towards the end of the week. So just tweaking the approach a little bit for you guys, with you guys. Okay. So next up is we've done the US CAD, it's pushing up, Aussie is pushing down, right? Trading lower, Kiwi dollar approaching that level, pound dollar doing well. Might be a little, if you didn't get into that trade, look for it to retrace before looking to buy in. If you don't buy in there, it might have a rebound. If I applied this on, you would see that this is way outside of Bollinger. So that's why I anticipate some form of a rebound, okay, on the pound dollar. Then Euro, I don't think it's going to push up. I think it's going to stay within this range because of that dollar strength. Swiss franc and CAD pushing higher because of the dollar strength. Okay, so with that, looking at gold. Okay, gold, that looking for the downside, right? What I'm paying a bit of attention to, I wrote about this quickly as well. So it's not a detailed one there. Okay, so I wrote that up as well. On gold, what I'm thinking of, is there a possibility, right? Possibility of this on gold where we might see this shoulder, head, and if it breaks lower, then maybe a skewed shoulder. But if not, then if it bounces from here, and the inverted head and shoulder pattern. All right, so that comes to Jamila's question on gold. It's a downtrend right now because of dollar strength, but on a weekly, let me see weekly or the daily first. All right, it looks like it's bullish. It is still bullish on the weekly. It's very bullish. It might come down a little bit before bouncing back up. Okay, so I'm watching this as well, just identifying the inverted head and shoulder. If it finds some support here, and you can see that's a 61.8 level, right? So I'm looking in, if this bounces from here, we might see inverted head and shoulder, where it could come back up, break above this point, and trade up. Okay, so that's speculative. That's a chart pattern. We know that most of the time it doesn't work out. We're looking for this to trade down. Despite the anticipation or the view that the longer time frame is to the upside, like on the weekly here, I think that it's also on the weekly, it's also forming that double top formation, right? It's forming a bit of a double top formation. So we might see a deeper retrace on the daily time frame. Again, it has not a good view, but almost like a head and shoulder pattern as well. So it's showing some downward potential. On the H4 time frame, that double top, and that's why we're looking at this pushing down. So it just needs to see what happens here. I think it's, despite it looks like a inverted head and shoulder forming, I think the likelihood is still for that downside potential on gold, especially if it breaks below, if it closes below this 61.8 level, below that 1986, I would say 1980. Right, if it closes below 1980, we could see it test 1964. And beyond that, I would say 1950 as well. Okay, and if you did a moving average on that, I think I saw this. I can't remember. I like the whole death cross and golden cross. It's just something that is quite interesting. No, so it's not formed. No. Okay, so take that away then. Okay, but yeah, I do think that we might see this push down. It's most likely going to invalidate that inverted head and shoulder. So I'm looking for gold to trade down towards 1964 and possibly 1950 as well. Okay, hope that answers your question. What time frame do I know? Sure, it's closing out at 1980. I'll do it on the H1 time frame. I'll stay on the H1 time frame for that. Why do I have so many spaces? Let's clear that out. It's hard to read. Oh no, it's harder to read like that. Okay, so gold looking for it to trade down, break of 1980 to trade down to 1964. Okay, especially with that dollar strength. This dollar strength, I think, hope I'm not proven wrong, but it looks like this might be the time where it does break out and push to the upside towards that 102.50 level. All right. And then pound yen as well, I was sharing with you guys. It's broken this level. I was looking at this. So we were talking about this just then, right? Analysis was done as well on the pound yen. So I was looking at that 61.8 level as it was breaking, breaking that trend line previously as well. So I was looking for it to trade down, right? Trade down towards that 165.40 level with 166 a support. Right now it's broken below 166. So if you haven't got into that, wait for the hour to close. It's only in 10 minutes time. I think if you wait for the hour to close and it stays below 166, we could see that downside continue towards 165.40, that previous low. Okay, I'll tell you what, this is how it looked like. There we go. Okay, as an update to that, this is what I'm looking at. Take that away. At this point, given that now it looks like it's breaking or looking for it to break below 166, if that closes below, then you could be looking to sell down from 165.80, right? Take profit 100 pips, stop loss maybe 30 pips, right? Just need to close below. We could see this move down, and then you would have a hesitation level at about that 165.50 level, about there, or 40 level. Okay, so that will be, will it fill back and will it go filled and retrace back? It could. That's why I wanted to break below that point, wait for the candle to close below that point before I will look to sell in. Okay, gaps on the dollar index. Um, it's filled the gap. I don't see any other gaps. I think that it's still a little bit early days for now, but I'm still looking for this push. Let's take this away. A bit messy. It does need to break above, so it's tested once already. You know, towards the end of the hour now, if it forms a doji there, maybe it'll retrace. But even if it retraces, I'm still looking for it to break to the upside. Are there any limitations of the DXY? Limitations as in the DXY itself, or limitations of the DXY on the price movement to the upside? Let me know, Romeo. Okay, cool. You see any other questions? Okay, cool. So pound yen was below 165.80, stop loss 30, take profit 100. Let me just put that in first. Pound yen, I would sell 165.80, stop loss 30, TP 100. Oh, 120, 102.50 on DXY is a gap for a while. 120.50. Yeah. There is a little bit there. So yeah, that's why I revised it to 102.5, especially today, right? Given that it's today, Friday, look at the dollar index now. Tested a level and came back down. Sometimes the levels are really important, right? Even a trend line like that, test and reject. So just respect your levels. I do think that it will climb up towards 102.50. It could climb up towards 102.50, resistance level at 102.60. But I think that if it does that tonight, that'll be fantastic. I think to next week we might see this trade back down again. Okay. While there is some hawkishness on the dollar because markets are anticipating some um, increased or some likelihood for the Feds to keep hiking rates at the next meeting. These are still rumors and anticipation for now. So I think any upside potential could see a retrace back down again. Okay. There's a tiny gap around 102.54. Same to what area? Same to what? Yeah. Thanks for that, M leader. That tiny gap there. So the guys on TradingView was mentioning the gap. We're talking about this one here. Okay. Yeah. So dollar index bouncing back down a little bit after testing that level might actually present some good trading opportunities because the Kiwi dollar retraced a little bit. I would like to see the hour close like that. Maybe you can even get into a trade from that point. Aussie dollar didn't retrace as much, bouncing back up. You could be looking to scalp in down to 6660. US yen forming. I do think that this is forming very nicely for that upward move, right? And yen is one of my favorite pairs. Was very happy to sell this down. So now I'm looking for it to bounce back up. I'll be even happier to buy it back up again. Pound dollar in the next 5 minutes, hopefully retrace a little bit, might form up quite nicely for a sell down. All right. Euro dollar retracing, it's going to stay within that range. Hey Diana, you are a a little bit very late because we're towards the end of the session already, but it is recorded. You can watch this anytime. US Swiss franc holding that resistance. I think Lee Frank was saying any sell potential, possibly not ready to sell right now, dependent on the dollar index. But if it sits there, I think the next hour might trade up a little bit, and then we see what happens at resistance. And then the US CAD hesitating at this level, still looking for that potential upside move. Gold, hey, look at that. If that forms, then you've heard it first here, a potential inverted head and shoulder on gold on the H1 time frame. Heard it first here. All right. Hey, Robbie, you guys get your time zone mixed up or something? Okay, so with that said, again, if you found this session useful, informative, going to help with your trading, do help me out. Click that little rocket ship button on TradingView. Click the thumbs up button on YouTube. And if you haven't already, link is there for the Discord channel. Do join the Discord channel. We can take our discussions beyond this 1 hour session. I do share a lot of trade ideas or possible trade setups there as well. So if you're looking for any support in terms of trade setups, any sounding board in terms of trading psychology and approach, do join the session. I'll catch you all there. Trade well, trade safe, have a good weekend. I'll catch you again next week, Monday, same time, same place, 3 p.m. GMT plus 8, here on TradingView and on YouTube. Take care now, Val. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so for now, take care. Bye-bye.